Woohoo!
All right, you can't stop grooving just because we hit record.
Yeah, right. I love that music. It's the best.
Jax, welcome to the show today.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thank you.
We're going to be running a 3 Cyber Chick episode today. Today's podcast is proudly sponsored by ThreatLocker. We are delighted to have a third Cyber Chick to talk all things ThreatLocker, threat gen, solutions engineering. We've got Amanda Makowsky, who's a dynamic and experienced solutions engineer at ThreatLocker, joining us. She's got a diverse background, beginning her career in the restaurant hospitality industry, so lots of the customer service skills, transitioning into IT, holding a degree in management information systems with a focus in telecommunications and networking from Texas Tech. And then her journey in IT has been marked by her commitment to customer service, those skills that we talked about that were transferable, and then her expertise in managing and supporting these complex IT environments, also backed by this, professional education background, that wealth of experience from the roles, all of that transitioned to bring her, skills, the knowledge, the passion for technology to ThreatLocker, where she's been making significant contributions since early 2023. So today we're going to dive into her role at ThreatLocker, exploring how she helps organizations enhance their cybersecurity posture, what it looks like to be a solutions engineer, and then touching on the important topic of burnout and how Amanda, balances such a demanding field and a tough role. So let's get started. Welcome, Erika. So pumped to have you.
So excited to have you.
Yeah, so excited to be here.
Welcome to the party.
3 Cyber Chicks.
Yay!
ThreatLocker. I love it. I love the background. Where are you right now, Amanda? Are you at your home office?
I actually get to work remotely, so I'm based out of Texas. Our corporate office is in Orlando, Florida. So 95% of our workload is there in Florida, so it's still US based. But our solutions engineers, we try to cover different time zones so that we can be relative for when our partners need us the most.
I love that. I'm starting to hear that country accent. Were you born in Texas?
Born and raised my whole life. I try to keep it stifled a little bit, but every once in a while there's just a word you can't say otherwise. So
it's just gonna come out.
It's just gonna come out whether you want it to or not.
Love it.
I love that. Well, we're so thrilled to have you on the show. One of the things that you told us, because you have watched 2 Cyber Chicks, yay, super excited to also have a fellow fan on the show. And one of the episodes that is actually, I think, one of our most popular, Erika, that we talked about was burnout. And you actually brought that up as something that you wanted to share with us. So we were really excited because we've talked about this from that episode and many times before. So we wanted to kick this off with first talking about burnout and just getting your perspective from your lens on maybe some of the common challenges that you face in the cybersecurity field, and then how you've really managed and maintained a healthy lifestyle. And if you don't maintain a healthy lifestyle, tell us why, because that's also very common to be really out of balance.
Absolutely. The very first episode I stumbled across was the episode of burnout. And I don't want to say I was crying, but I was almost in tears over it because I was like, somebody understands, right? That It's not just me. It's not just a me thing. So I worked at a MSP before, Computer Transition Services, Inc. Great people there. But I think quite a few females that are in the space, we just pour and pour and pour and do everything that we can, and we forget sometimes that we need to be available, right? And so I actually hit a brick wall with them, and I went on vacation, and on vacation I was like, I don't see a way of coming back. And so with that, that's almost that tragedy story of not being able to recognize it soon enough. So it is important to realize you're coming up to that. I think one of you said, your limit of how much you had available, how much you could keep taking. You start seeing that get shorter and shorter and shorter. You need to step back and say, I need me time, right? Vacation time is there. Use it for vacation. I was real bad about using it for running errands or going to do doctor's office and stuff, which sometimes you need to, but use it for you time. Another key thing, one of my partners I have currently, he has tea breaks. So he drinks green tea, white tea, black tea, but he's got a little tea kettle in his office, and he says I probably have 3 to 6 tea breaks a day. And so it's mindful minutes instead of mindful hours. When things are just kind of overwhelming and piling and piling and piling, let me stop, let me breathe, let me sip on this tea, let me take a minute to refocus and reshuffle and then get back to what I need to do. Because if we're constantly pouring and we're constantly giving, we don't have the time to put into anymore. So we're more effective. So the first year I was here, I wasn't taking lunch breaks, right? I was just working through, if I have a cancellation, I'll leave then, right? And at the end of the year, I'm like, my level, I'm not being able to absorb. I'm not being able to do as much. I'm not being able to give as much. And I realized that's on me. No one told me not to take a lunch break. That was something that I just chose to do. And so I first was talking to one of my good friends, and I was getting onto her for not taking her vitamins, because it's very important, to make sure you're physically able to do what you need to do. And she's like, well, when's the last time you had a lunch? I was like, okay, So I started with 2 days, and then I'm like, you know what? Let me book the whole week. I book a lunch all week long. If something comes up that I need to give my lunch break up, it's my choice at that point. And then that is me going extra. Right? If we go extra every single day, it's no longer extra, it's routine. So if I need to go extra, I can, but otherwise I have that time for me. And quite often on my lunch breaks, I will go sit outside in the sun or walk to the park and walk around the park. Sometimes I just make a meal and sit and eat in utter silence, right? It just depends on the day. But setting aside time for you, you have to make that a priority. Because if don't, there will be something else that comes in and fills that space, and then you are more likely to burn out.
Yep.
Treat it like a customer meeting, right? Treat it like a meeting that you cannot miss. And I think that's what gets lost, right? Is like you may block it on your calendar and try to intentionally set that lunch break, but then customer email hits the inbox and you're like, "Ooh, I got to take care of this." Or your boss asks you a question and you're like, "This is important." So I guess my question there is like, what coping skills have you kind of found that have been helpful in terms of like protecting that time? Like, was it easy from the get-go once you started implementing lunch breaks?
It really was not. It at first started with 2 breaks for the week. And then I was asked, could I give those up? Because I quite often, I'm there. Yes, I'm more than happy to take on that. Yes, I'm glad to do that, because it kind of that driving, I feel like I should. I feel like I need to, right? So that's when I transitioned from the 2 days a week to all week long. Now I kind of have an internal rule. I'm going to get lunch 3 times a week. If I give up 2 lunch breaks, I'm sorry, I can't give up another one. It's just, you need that time. You are more productive if you take that time, whether it be, like I said, eating lunch or walking to the park or taking a nap. If you get to work from home, taking a shower in the middle of the day. Sometimes you just need that time to where you are not in front of those emails and not in front of the computer and not talking to people, to just zen yourself.
Oh yeah, that decompression is so important. Oof, yeah. If anybody's listening, go ahead and make sure you got that lunch block up, or tea time, whatever you want to do, right? It might be a 30-minute slot. It might be 15-minute increments in between calls, or whatever it is that works for you. I think it's especially tough, being remote, covering different time zones. Like, you're gonna get pings at any time of the day, so like it's up to you to protect that. And I can imagine so I want to kind of pivot and talk about the solutions engineer role, because You did talk about you're in Texas, you're supporting a certain time zone. I mean, the way that you guys, manage the different needs of your customers, right? Let's talk a little bit about your role as a solutions engineer, even your hours of availability, the responsibilities, daily tasks, how you work within your team, how you guys divide and conquer. Is it a team, collaborative environment? Are you, navigating daily? Is it a mix of things, right? Kind of give me a little bit more info on what your day-to-day looks like.
Absolutely. So in virtual meetings all day long, I do block off the first hour of my day to follow up on emails that maybe I didn't get a chance to go through. Part of what I do as a solution engineer is support our partners in setting the custom rules and building the control policies and securing their environment. So in another part of that time is reviewing those accounts, especially those that I have coming up in the next 2 to 3 days, so that when I meet with them, all right, this is what I saw from your environment. These are things I feel we should work on. So it is a all day long event. And if I don't stop, I talk for 8 or 9 hours a day if I'm giving up that lunch break, right? There's no rest.
Yeah.
This is constant. The day is mixed. It starts with the checking the emails and the preparing. We call them pre-audits, and that's what internally we kind of refer to. We're auditing what our clients' partners' accounts are. Once we get past that first hour, my day can be a mix. We have demonstrations where either a partner saw us at a trade show, they saw us online and came and looked for us and booked a meeting, or one of our sales team cold calling, even saying, hey, did you know we exist? Because we still are relatively new in the environment and not everybody really knows what we do. So depending on the day, I have demos where I'm showing what these problems are and how we can solve them, right? When an end user is trying to download some new software that their best friend told them was the best piece of software they've ever had before, or a PowerShell trying to call out to a rogue command and control server, or call out to touching data that it has no business interacting with, and really show, here are examples, here are things that happen day in, day out that other tools just let happen. So we do have a default deny approach where if it's not on your allow list, we really don't want it happening. And we take it through all these modules that we have here on different areas, really helping to protect end users and environments. So part of it is, what is the problem you have? And how can I, with our tool, help you fix and solve that problem? The other piece is actually doing those audits, meeting with those partners and saying, all right, now that we've got your application set where unauthorized, unwanted applications can't run. When you break it down, ransomware, malware is software. If you're controlling what software runs, those don't get to execute. So once we get the software set up, then let's move on to one of those other modules, the storage control, the network control, something else to really layer in that approach for the environment. So it's very rewarding because you get to help IT people solve their IT problems that they thought they just had to live with and deal with, i.e. our end users, right?
Yeah. It sounds like you really enjoy what you're doing. I mean, you've been here at ThreatLocker for over a year and a half, almost 2 years, right? So you've been here for quite a long time now, and it sounds like you've kind of gotten into your flow and you enjoy talking. Some people, I have Eric and I know, I talk all day, and there's those days where, like you said, you're in 8 hours worth of meetings and it's just back to back to back to back. And you feel really accomplished. And then some days are just really draining. So I love that you're a time blocker and you do all of those things and you seem so passionate about what you're doing. I want to pivot a little bit, still in the ThreatLocker space though, but I want to kind of dive into a little bit of what we've talked about kind of what your day-to-day looks like, but can you share now some of what you do as far as projects, what that looks like, and if you have any, say, significant projects or maybe some achievements within the last year and a half of working for the company that you can share with us, and how did they impact the company?
really our partners are the biggest impact, and those that sign the agreement and say, yes, we want to use and utilize your services. Once we've set up even a couple of the controls, I've had partners say, I can sleep better at night, right? I don't have this overwhelming, crushing burden, and that is a huge success. And we call them partners. It is a partnership for us. They're paired with a dedicated solution engineer for the life of their contract. So, they get to meet with us anytime that it is needed. And so whether my client has 50 endpoints or if they have several thousand endpoints, if they tell me, Amanda, this is a problem, my end users are writing to their desktop and I can't have it anymore, let's fix it, right? Yeah. It's just as impactful for that partner that has 50 endpoints as it is for that one that has several thousand. So really being able to help those IT professionals feel like, I can take a tea break. I can go get lunch, and I know it's not going to burn down while I'm away, really is amazing to me.
I love how you call them your partners. Was that something that came natural to you when you came on board? Is that like part of the values of ThreatLocker, is like looking at your clients as partners?
Yes, absolutely. Before their clients, prospects, after clients, partners, and we do consider it a partnership. But quite often during our demos, we purposely position ourselves as an extension of their IT team. Our cyber hero support department is open 24 hours a day, right? I am not. I have my work hours, but we have enough staff, enough people that if something is ever going wrong, there is someone there to help you. And that is massive. You're not waiting on emails back and forth for 2 weeks to solve a problem. Our chat, which is our quick support session, our goal is to answer that chat within a minute. And routinely we have audits, and off the top of my head, anywhere from 28 to 36 seconds is the average of when you actually have a live human chatting with you. And we go straight into a Zoom session from that if you want. And you say, I just need to see this, help me. Because it is exhausting as an IT person. There is this problem and I don't know how to fix it. And I've already read all the documentation and I've spent 2 weeks looking at this. And I can't get you on the phone. I can't get you to talk to me. I can't get you to tell me how to fix this. And now, especially my bottom line is suffering. Or if it's an MSP partner, their bottom line is of their client is suffering because it's not working as expected. And that's exhausting, right? So we do provide that level of support and the partnership there. I just love hearing I can sleep better at night. Right?
Yeah, no, that's wonderful feedback. It makes all of the challenges that you had going on that day, you're like, this is why I do it. It's all worthwhile. I made an impact today. That's awesome. No, that SLA is extremely impressive. The response rate, but also like jumping in and having the dedicated support. But I imagine like building a relationships is a critical component of your job, right? You're building trust, like problem solving. You brought up challenges, and I'm curious, like the types of challenges that you have day to day, right? Like you are a translator of sorts, you're a connector, you're a collaborator. You have so many different people that you need to correspond with, like your partners, but then you also have your internal partners at ThreatLocker that you need to go back to and say, hey, I may need support, like implementing something into the roadmap to best support this use case. So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that and how that plays a role into your job, because I think there's a mix of it. Some of it's internal client facing and some of it's external.
Absolutely. So we have different departments internally, and we're very siloed. I have roughly 4 more buttons in my portal than what my partners have, because I am here to help them with the portal and an understanding of how it all works, right? The cyber heroes, which is that support team, they have the back end of the environment, API keys and logs that they can access. We have an app team. So part of the reason allow listing works is because there's an army at ThreatLocker doing those updates to almost 4,000 common applications like Microsoft Word, Edge, Chrome, right? Those things that businesses use over and over and over across all matters of business, where you're a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant, you still need these tools. We're managing those for you. So it makes it easy to use. So each one of those teams, there has to be a conversation in there. We have internal messaging where we message each other back and forth. And really, we can always go all the way up to our co-founder, Danny Jenkins, and say, this is something that we need to resolve. My client is having problems with it. And in fact, if we can't fix it and we can't get somebody to fix it and we don't tell him, it is a bad day, right? Because he cares that much about it. And there's all sorts of YouTube videos where you can go and see him talking about that. But part of that is also how we let our partners know that we need to improve. So we have a partner feature request channel that partners can go and say, I need this for my environment. And then normally if my partners build one of those, I have email me. And so any other partner I have that says, oh, this would be important, I already know there's a feature out there, let's go upvote it. And because we review what the partners ask us to implement into their environment. And it's actually always growing and always improving and always trying to be better, because you need that team. And if you can't have that team on your own, you can still have a team.
I was going to ask you about like the upvoting and how you guys navigated like the parking lot wish list, and you answered it for me, but I was like, that's pretty cool. You're reading my mind. This is a third cyber chick thing. You're picking up on it already. But I love that. I mean, there's so many things, right? And it's like prioritizing all of these requests and figuring out, well, what goes first and what's like a 1 month release from now versus what's something that we can like go and toggle something and have it ready for this client in like a week's time, right? Like those are conversations that I think are probably happening internally daily, right? As these requests are coming in.
Oh, absolutely. We also, I know the SE department, right? I can't speak for every department out there, but I have a monthly my team meeting with the 6 or so of us that are on the team I'm on. We have a monthly all SE meeting with every SE in the department. And then we also have Michael Jenkins or Danny sometimes joins that to talk about how they're making things. Rob or chief product, I'm horrible with titles, so I'm one of those, but we have members high up in management that come in and join those meetings. And then we have an all staff meeting that every individual at ThreatLocker, you really are supposed to attend, right? It's one of those of, if you at all possible are aware you show up to that all staff meeting. And to foster encouragement between departments, we actually have where individuals from inside the organization vote for the person that helped them the most for the month. Every month we vote. The top 10 get to stand on a stage and they get to do a special retreat. Ooh. And the person that was voted the most helpful wins a new car.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so and it's not like a new car. It's a nice new car. They've done the Mustang Mach-E. They've done a Porsche. I forget what last year was. They actually did a car for the United States and a car for EMEA. So our partners that are overseas, our sales staff and stuff over in England and Ireland. Wow. So there was actually 2 separate cars that were given away last year. Because if I don't tell you I have a problem, you can't fix my problem, right? If I tell you and you do nothing with it, you still didn't fix my problem. So it really builds that communication between all the departments of, hey, if you help me the most, I get to put your name in the basket for the trip or a car. Who wouldn't want that?
That's amazing.
That is amazing. I'm like mind blown. That's such a like collaborative culture. You incentivize the behaviors that you want to see. And I mean, it's probably like there was an element that all of you guys were already doing those things anyway, but like it takes it to the next level.
And if you don't vote and you happen to be at the top of the list, you don't get the car. So
Oh.
it is a requirement for you to vote, right? If everybody says you're the best and you don't say anybody else is the best, you're not the best because you weren't
Woo!
collaborative. I'm like, this is awesome, terrifying, but awesome.
That gets you to vote though,
Yeah.
too. It's
You would
like
want to
so smart.
anyways, though. Like
Yeah.
when someone goes above and beyond for you, they
Yeah.
deserve that recognition. They deserve,
Yeah.
this person really made my life easier. This person helped my partner in a way that I couldn't have done it without them. So it does help that collaboration.
God, I love that. Such a fun culture. It sounds like such a fun culture. So, Amanda, you seem like you're a very goal-oriented person in your life. And I would just assume that you probably have some goals and ambitions. Just hearing you just now and reading your background, I'm curious, can you share with the community any future goals or any projects that you know of that ThreatLocker is working on or that you're working on, and just share with the community what that looks like maybe for Q4 or for 2025 even?
So currently in the pipeline, active development at ThreatLocker, a Linux agent. We can go on Windows devices. We can go on MacBook devices, not iOS, Mac devices. Linux is coming. We're actively working on it. We have an internal alpha agent, so I expect it soon. Actually, currently just came into open beta within the last week, a Cloud 365 integration to where we can help give you logs around your Microsoft 365 environment. Impossible travel scenario, someone creating an administrator account that shouldn't be an admin, someone that endpoint, reporting from an IP address that's been blocked or known to be bad. Those things that Microsoft is collecting anyway, just making it easy for you to know about it, for you to be aware about it. So that just came into beta. I'm trying to get partners, hey, try it out. I know it's beta, but try it out. I need feedback on it. And that is also something they do. Once they get something where they like it, they put it into a beta state and say, try it and give us feedback. Let us know where we need to improve. Let us know how it's working. And then I've seen it go from beta to, let's go back to dev for a little bit and then come back out with an actual, not necessarily different product, but even better from the feedback that we got.
More refined product. When you guys do the beta, do you offer the beta for just your current partners, or do you do it for, like, if somebody's listening right now and they were like, hey, I want to try this out, could they reach out to you and try the beta and test it out?
Absolutely. We do a proof of concept that is free for anybody that wants to see how it works, right? Of course, our end goal is for you to fall in love with it and say,
Yep.
I want to sleep better at night as well. But you get to experience the allow listing, any of the modules we have in full function, as well as those beta modules, so that the more feedback we get, the better we can improve, and the better we can be for our partners.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if there are people listening right now, what is the best way for them to be able to get more information about ThreatLocker? Should they connect with you? Do you guys have a website to go to, an email address you would like to share?
ThreatLocker.com is just our portal. You're going to find white papers. You're going to find a blog post. You're going to find a sign me up for a demo. It is a round robin on that demo. So there's 30 some odd SEs. So you will get a SE. You're going to have a salesperson contact you, try to find out a little more about you, about your organization, and then we'll get that meeting on the books. And then we go through the demo, show you how, help you fill any problems you have, and then you get to play with it and try it. It's the full feature. It's not a watered down light version. It's the portal, just like you are a signed partner. You do what you need to in there. Still meeting with the SE on a every week to 10 days meeting, so that you can really get a deep dive into the portal and how it works and how it would work in your environment.
Oh my gosh, amazing. So you guys heard it here, threatlocker.com. Go sign up for the demo. Let Amanda know. Let us know what you guys thought about it. Amanda, that is the end of our show. We had a great time. Thank you so much for being a guest on our show. This was amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so exciting. And I also want to thank ThreatLocker for letting me come and join and talk with y'all today, because I really enjoyed my experience. Thank you.
Oh my God, it was our pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Amanda. Bye. Oh my gosh. So Erika, amazing, amazing So awesome. Simply Cyber community. Thank you guys. ThreatLocker, thank you. I can't thank you guys all enough for being part of this community, allowing us to be part of the community. We love you guys. If you are new here, we're Erika and Jax. We would recommend hit subscribe, come back. We post every other week a new episode, so you won't miss one. Check us out if you're watching this for the first time. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Oh, and last thing, if you have anybody that wants to be on our show, email us. We'd love to meet them, get them on the show at 2 cyberchicks@gmail.com. Catch you in 2 weeks.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye.